Hello, I'm Graham and welcome back to Man vs Film. This is going to be a top 10 of movies that you can watch in May 2018 on Amazon Prime US. So let's get started with number 10. Washmaster. The Jinn is a mischievous monster who can fulfill any wish, but in a horrible way. For example, when the woman tells him he wishes to be beautiful forever, she's turned into a mannequin. He was captured in an opal in the 12th century and hidden inside an antique statue. When the statue is damaged in 1997 during transport to Los Angeles, the Jinn escapes and takes human form. I watched Washmaster not long ago. I got the Vestron Video Blu-ray and it is a movie that I can highly recommend if you are a fan of horror movies, specifically in the 90s where they had that tongue-in-cheek feel and kind of poked fun at themselves and did outlandish things that just don't really fit within the context of these movies. Washmaster is a fantastic movie full of practical effects that are unbelievable. They really are amazing to see. There is some amazing craftsmanship going on here. The storyline isn't as great, but it's still fun, and thanks to Andrew Divoff's amazing performance, he creates a horror icon in my eyes. I absolutely love Washmaster. I know it's not a great movie, but it's definitely entertaining and it is definitely fun. Number 9, Philadelphia. Andrew Beckett, a gay HIV positive lawyer, is fired from his law firm in fear that they might contract HIV from him. After Andrew is fired, in a last attempt for peace, he sues his former law firm with the help of a homophobic lawyer, Joe Muller. Tom Hanks won the Oscar for this performance, and quite rightly so, as a breakout performance from a genuinely comedic actor at that time. It was mainly what he was known for. Denzel Washington is his lawyer who is fighting for him. Antonio Banderas stars in this as well, and it is a movie that seems to have been kind of forgotten about, but it's still encapsulating thanks to the amazing performances of all the lead actors who all do terrific work in this story. Number 8, Carrie. Carrie White, a shy, friendless teenage girl who is sheltered by her domineering religious mother, unleashes her telekinetic powers after being humiliated by her classmates at her senior prom. This is the 1976 De Palma classic Carrie, not the recent remake, and again, this one is one of these movies that you may not have seen, but is worth checking out because it is a director who knows exactly what he's doing here. He is twisting and turning that screw ever so tightly more as the movie goes on, creating these characters that you are interested in the story. You may not like them all, but you are definitely interested in the story. And in fact, Sissy Spacek gives a fantastic performance as Carrie White. This sheltered child who struggling with puberty and these telekinetic powers is just trying to deal with that, along with this deeply religious mother who is damaging her child more and more as it goes on. It ends up with a fantastic finale that is the main thing it gets talked about, but everything up to there is just as good as that ending. Number 7, Sleepers. 4 boys growing up in Hell's Kitchen play a prank that leads to an old man getting hurt. Sentenced to no less than 1 year in Wilkinson Center in upstate New York, the 4 friends are changed by the beating, humiliation and sexual abuse by the guards sworn to protect them. 13 years later, and a chance meeting lead to a chance for revenge against the Wilkinson Center and the guards. Again, this is one of those really nicely put together movies that is all about a kind of court case. It's all these moving parts. It's about revenge and vengeance and overcoming past trauma, but it's told in a highly entertaining way where you're never quite sure who's behind everything, who's manufacturing what, and how they are going to get to this ending that is fitting and the one that you actually want. I'm trying to skirt around the edges here because I don't want to tell you too much about Sleepers. It's just a really entertaining flick. Number 6, Throw Mama from the Train. 2 men have someone they would dearly love dead. One his ex-wife who is making his life miserable, the other his domineering nasty mother. What could be simpler than exchanging murders to avoid any possible complicity? Mama turns out to be a hard nut to crack, not to mention the guilt. Again, another lost movie from the 80s, Throw Mama from the Train, is a remake of the Alfred Hitchcock movie which had a similar storyline, only this time it is done for deeply dark comedic purpose and it's done extremely well. Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal star in this movie, and together they create a fantastic partnership in this really fun and, like I said, really dark comedy movie that nobody seems to talk about much these days, which is a real shame because it is a real treat. Number 5, A Simple Plan. Two brothers, one a mild-mannered hardware store manager and the other an unemployed slob, and a friend stumble onto 4.4 million cash in stolen money. The newfound booty leads Hank, the store manager, with the help of his cunning wife, to great lengths to keep the money a secret from local authorities. The three men begin to doubt each other's trust, which leads to shocking results of lies and deceit. Directed by Sam Raimi, who's really a flashy director. He does lots of wild camera movements, and in this movie he tones it down and lets the story take centre stage, and it's a very deft touch that he has here. Some amazing performances from the three leads. You have a story tale that gets darker and muddled the more it goes on as these people start to distrust each other. You've got Billy Bob Thornton, who does a terrific performance, and Bill Paxton, who is just as good as well. Again, another movie that has kind of slipped through the cracks of time, and one that's just ripe to be rediscovered as an amazing thriller. Number 4, Red State. Three friends wake up and find that they are trapped in the fundamentalist 5-point Trinity Church of the infamous Pastor Aben Cooper, and that they will be killed. Meanwhile, the church is under siege by ATF agents led by Agent Joseph Keenan that have been ordered to destroy the terrorist cell. Kevin Smith directs a very flashy performance by Michael Parks, but it is an excellent and an essential one to this movie. It's what really drives it forward. It's a movie that kind of shies away from the typical conventions, and it is very different from any other Kevin Smith movie I've seen. Red State is probably one of his last great movies that he had done, and I think it is definitely worth checking out. I'm trying to skirt around the plot because I think the more you delve into it yourself, the better it'll be, rather than me just telling you what it is. But it is a very interesting, although very talky performance by Michael Parks, but it really just shows what a talent that guy is. Number 3, Escape from New York. In the future, crime is out of control and New York City's Manhattan is a maximum security prison. Grabbing a bargaining chip right out of the air, convicts bring down the president's plane and bad old Gotham. Gruff Snake Plissken, the one-eyed lone warrior new to prison life, is coerced into bringing the president and his cargo out of the land of undesirables. I love John Carpenter. I love it when he works with Kurt Russell, and this is a fantastic science fiction movie that has a great idea. There's an earthquake, it breaks Manhattan off from the rest of the United States, and they just wall it off and turn it into a prison. Snake Plissken is the sort of anti-hero who is thrown into the land of people that are worse than him, and he has to somehow survive and get the president out. It's a great adventure, it is very fun, it looks fantastic, and as a dystopian future it looks particularly badass. Number 2, The Florida Project. Set over one summer, the film follows precious 6-year-old Mooney as she courts mischief and adventure with her ragtag playmates and bonds with her rebellious but caring mother, all the while living in the shadows of Walt Disney World. The Florida Project blew me away. It's a terrific movie. It's a fantastic movie. It's an essential movie for you to see. It isn't your conventional movie. It's about a small family just living day to day, trying to survive, trying to get the money to pay the rent to stay in this motel so they don't get kicked out onto the streets. They're struggling to get money for food, and it's all shot through the kids' eyes and how they just see this as just the way life is, just how they go about things. And really the parents act in ways that parents shouldn't act. It's all kind of shot through the kids' eyes, so you see it from their perspective. I think it's really terrific. It is a movie that is going to last with me for the longest while. I think it's captivating and a must watch. Number 1, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Stephen, a charismatic surgeon, is forced to make an unthinkable sacrifice after his life starts to fall apart when the behaviour of a teenage boy he is taking under his wing turns sinister. Again, The Killing of a Sacred Deer was a tremendous movie, a movie that I did not know what to expect going into it, and I found a movie that was deeply unsettling for several factors. The storyline, I was never sure where it was going to go, and it was twist and turn and just affect me and the main characters in similar fashions. This confusion about what was going on. The language of the movie itself is really interesting. There's no contractions, nobody says don't, they say do not. It's all the way through the movie. People speak properly, enunciating every single syllable and making sure that it is a odd conversation, because naturally people do not talk that way, but in here it is almost set out as a musical tone, the way they talk, hitting each and every beat, and it's just freaky. Again, I'm keeping the story light on this one because I think it's one that you want to experience. Don't read anything about it, don't look into the movie, just put it on and let it take you where it's going to take you. And I promise it's going to be a worthwhile adventure to go on. So there we have it, 10 movies for you to check out. Hopefully you find something there that you haven't seen before, or something that sparks a bit of interest in you. If there's something that I missed off my list, or something that should have been on it, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next month on Man vs Film.